Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do a little bit of a different video because first of all I'm going to show you all of my empties, and I've been keeping a shoebox of them for a while because I wanted to make sure that I could document what my true favorites are. And we know that they're my true favorites because as soon as I ran out of these things, I went to Sephora to repurchase them at a time when there's not a sale. And I usually am so good about making sure not to buy a lot of things from Sephora when there's no discount, for example the VIB discount that I do a video for every year in November. But I knew I was not going to make it until then to repurchase these things because they are some of my all-time holy grail level favorite products that I cannot live without. But before we get to this good stuff, I'm going to show you what's in my shoebox of empties. And not all of these things actually are from Sephora. I just happen to buy replacements for them, mostly from Sephora. So the first thing that I ran out of, which I actually finished in my hair as you're seeing it now, is the Oribe Dry Texturizing Spray. This is such a famous product, and for a good reason. It is really good. It doesn't make your hair tacky or gross, and it doesn't leave any residue like dry shampoo does, but can often be used to replace it if your hair isn't too greasy. I like to use it especially when I have some layers in my hair, and I know it's not a huge difference, but I did get about 1.5 inches taken off, and I added quite a bit of layers. And so especially for when I have a hairstyle like this, I find dry texturizing spray really useful. However, it was really pricey, so I decided to replace it with a slightly more affordable item that I had read really good reviews for, so I'll show you what that is when we get there. Secondly is the Sunday Riley Good Jeans. You can see it's missing the top because I dropped it on the floor. This serum is amazing. I used every last drop of it, and it really is one of those that makes a huge difference when you use it on your skin, because I can tell that my skin is visibly smoother and plumper the day after I use it, and it also really helps to fade any little marks from acne or anything like that as well. I don't have a lot of those, but when I do get a pimple, I find that it makes a big difference. Next is a toner, and I actually started using this as a makeup spray because I ended up finishing the Tatcha, which is a little bit more on the oily glowy side, and then I received this and I used it all up. I really do like it, but unfortunately Kopari is not available at Sephora yet in Canada, so I'll link their information down below. I really enjoyed using this. It was really light, and it really is more of a refreshing spray, kind of like the Caudalie one, but it has a fantastic coconut rose smell to it, and it's all natural. Importantly, in driving me to Sephora on an urgent basis, finished yet another Clinique Acne BB Cream. Best BB cream all around. I've talked about it so much on my channel. To me, it has nothing to do with having acne. It is just an all-around amazing medium coverage BB cream that you can layer for more coverage. It's probably my favorite foundation that I have ever used because nothing can fill its shoes. Another item that led me to go to Sephora pretty hurriedly is the Clarins Démaquillant Express, or Instant Eye Makeup Remover. I really enjoyed using this. It requires no rubbing at all. You just shake the bottle and then just squirt a little bit onto a cotton pad, and it really does remove even the mascara, the Maybelline The Rocket, which is really long lasting even though it's not waterproof. It gets off in like one sweep, which I really appreciate. You can see there's a couple uses left. Next is a couple of drugstore products. My favorite mascara is the Maybelline The Rocket Volume Express. I really love how it separates and volumizes really well, and it doesn't flake. So I actually tried the new L'Oreal one in the pink tube that just came out, but it was flaking all over the place and didn't give me any definition like this one does. The next is a powder. There's a little tiny bit left on this powder, but you'll see I've actually changed products that I like to use to set my BB cream with, so I might actually end up using this as a travel product just to use up the last little bit that's in the pan. It is a really good little setting powder, pretty affordable from Bourjois, but I decided that there was another product that I really felt like was worth spending a little bit more on because I got a lot more coverage and staying power out of it. Those are my empties. That is what I had sort of all used up, and then I decided to go to Sephora and really only get things that I felt like I really needed, except for one little treat that is not a repurchase, which I'll show you at the very end, that I just could not resist. So first things first, unsurprisingly, I got a new Sunday Riley Good Jeans, the lactic acid based serum. I use this in conjunction with my Shiseido Bio Performance, and I find the two go together like milk and honey. They really do make a huge difference. I've noticed if I go on a trip even for a couple of days and stop using that combination, it makes a huge difference, and my skin is not as smooth and plump. I don't use it every night. I use it about twice a week, and I find that that keeps any flakiness at bay. It is really expensive. It retails for $200 here in Canada, less in the US, but I think it is worth every dollar because I'm pretty sure I purchased this in the Sephora VIB sale in November, and it's taken until now for me to need a new one, so I think that's not bad in terms of how much product you get in one little serum bottle. Next, to replace the Kopari, I've got a Tarte setting spray. So this is made specifically to set makeup, and I decided to get this one because it was a good price. It was $30, which I felt like was really fair, and it has the most amazing, perfect for summer cucumber scent. And I like how it's quite a fine mist, so you don't get like a big splurt in your face. I tried quite a few in the store, and I noticed that that was a real problem. So I really like how this is also just really good natural ingredients for the most part, and I like Tarte as a brand, so I thought it was worth trying. So it's called the Ready Set Radiant Skin Mist, and it really does smell amazing and feel super refreshing, so I got that. Next, I scoured all the reviews on Sephora to figure out what was the most recommended texturizing spray that they carried, and it was universally pretty much the IGK Beach Club Texture Spray. And this is actually a newer line to Sephora. It was either this one or the Bumble and Bumble Dry Spun Spray, but I felt like I tried that one before and it was okay but not amazing, and a bit more like hairspray, whereas I wanted it to be more like the Orbe and less like hairspray. So I got this one, and when I went into the store I was sold because it really does smell amazing. It smells very fresh and summery, kind of salty and coconutty. It's amazing. I really like the packaging. I'm really excited to try this. Next up, to replace the Clarins eye makeup remover, I decided to try the Sephora brand one. It had really good reviews. It's also a shake and combine one, just like the Lancome and the Clarins, and so I felt like it was kind of a knockoff of those and definitely worth trying. I like that it's a big bottle, so it's 200 milliliters, and it was $19, I believe, so about $10 at least cheaper than the Clarins. So I'm going to try this, and hopefully I will really like it, and it'll be as effortless and no rub as the Clarins one is. Next up, huge surprise, I know, this is the Color Light, the color I always get. It's a perfect match for my skin, and it does not oxidize at all. So it's just a really flattering light peachy shade, and it doesn't get orangey or weird or oily or separate. It's just the best, and it's really good value as well for a higher end foundation. It's got SPF 40, which I don't rely on, but I have seen work. So I use an SPF underneath it, and then I do feel like this actually does protect my skin from the sun really well. Clinique is a well-respected brand, so I feel like it's just a good all-around product to use, and I use it all year round. Then next up, instead of buying more blotting sheets, which I ended up feeling were kind of wasteful, I was going through like several a day, and I also felt like they removed a lot of the oil that I didn't necessarily need to get rid of, in that the skin where I had blotted was visibly drier looking than where I hadn't blotted on the sides. So I just felt like I wanted to try something a little bit more gentle. So I ended up getting this Blotterazzi by Beauty Blender Pro sponge, and I'm actually not even a Beauty Blender user because I like to use my fingers with the Clinique, but I've heard really good things about this, and so I thought it was worth a try. It seems like just a really practical little tool that you can keep in your desk at work. It actually comes with 2 of them, and essentially instead of using papers, you just use this little sponge. And I can see actually something is coming off, even though my skin's not that oily now, but it's not makeup, which is really great. So it's supposed to be good at not removing your makeup, but just removing a little bit of the oil. And I felt like it might be a little bit more subtle than some of the papers that just like kind of soak up all of your glowiness. I'm gonna leave one in my desk and put one in my handbag. And then the last product, other than the special little non-repurchase treat, is the Kat Von D Lock-It Powder Foundation. Now this is extremely pigmented. You can use this just on its own without a BB cream, without a foundation, and you will get coverage out of it. However, if you do what I do, which is just to use a fluffy brush and apply a little bit of it over your face, and mainly for me my T-zone, then it just does such a good job. It kind of melts into your skin and creates a little bit more coverage, just makes everything look that much more smooth and poreless, and I've been loving it to the point where I've been getting the one that's in my handbag, which I carry around as my touch-up, and using it in the morning to set my makeup over the Bourjois recently. So I decided that it was okay to go ahead and purchase another one so that I could have it in my makeup room and not do that walk back and forth, and I'm really excited to have this. My color is light 44. It is a hint warmer than my skin, just a hint. It's got a little extra edge of kind of apricot tint to it, and very much like the Clinique BB, it does not oxidize at all, and throughout the day I find that it looks better and better. So if you want to know what my secret is to having my makeup look good even through a workout, I would say this, of course, combined with the Clinique BB is my secret, because if I don't use this, I find that my makeup is just gone after my workout and everything is really oily looking, whereas if I have this on my skin, then I find that everything is just kind of glowy looking, and the slight oiliness from my skin mixes with this to create just like a really flawless, nice glow. Weird, I know, but it works. Already pretty obviously hinted at, I repurchased the Maybelline Volume Express, which is the Rocket one. It's so good. I really have no incentive to switch to a more expensive or different mascara. It's actually one of the cheaper ones at the drugstore here too in Canada, but it's, in my opinion, the best. I don't like the waterproof ones because it's honestly, unless you're gonna be swimming, really unnecessary, because even the original is really long lasting. And then finally, I did treat myself to a little newbie. This little palette really packs a punch. It actually is pretty much the only thing in this whole haul that I have already tried because I couldn't resist. It is from Vizart, and it's actually thanks to you guys. I didn't originally think that their palettes really looked that exciting, so I never bought anything from them, but then I saw this and remembered all of the great recommendations that I got from you guys as to the quality of the eyeshadows, and I decided to go for it. It was $40 for this tiny little palette, but it really is good value because you get 8 different colors and they're so intensely pigmented that you only need the slightest dab of a flat little brush and then just pack it onto your eyelids, and oh my gosh, is it ever long lasting and bright and gorgeous. And I really like the colors in this one because they're all really classic and they're perfect for fall. So I really got it with the idea of doing fall makeup looks with it, but I've already been using it especially to get the gold and this really nice bronze as well, and you just have to slightly tap to get a really beautiful smooth application. So I really think that the quality is fantastic. It reminds me a little bit of the new Urban Decay Heat palette that's come out that everybody's using, but I think this is a little bit more wearable because it's not as orangey in its shades, and it's got some nice neutrals up here as well that are easy to wear. So if you're looking for an alternative to that that might be a little bit higher quality, and also I really like how small it is for travel, then this is a good one to consider, and I've been really enjoying it already, and I'm not even making like really bronzy fall looks yet. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see my next installment on style, then make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!